Hello everyone, welcome back again to Liverpool Report today. We've got the latest updates on our beloved club Liverpool. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of Liverpool Report news. Let's get started. Arneslot has defended his decision to put Alexis Mac Allister on Dan Burn at corners after the towering Newcastle defender scored in the Carabao Cup final. Newcastle beat Liverpool 2-1 at Wembley on Sunday, thanks to Burn's powerful header from Kieran Trippier's floated cross and Alexander Isak's classy half-volley. Slot threw on 5 attacking substitutes in the second half, and 2 of them combined as Harveyelliott set up Federicochiesa, but his goal in added time was too little too late. The Magpies were much the better side and deserved their first domestic trophy in 70 years, but their dominance raised questions for Liverpool. The ease with which 6 feet 7 inches Burn beat his marker 5 feet 9 inches, Mac Allister to power in the opening goal, left many Liverpool fans bemused on social media. But Slot was quick to point out that Burn's effort had an expected goals XG of just 0.03, and that his zonal marking system, in which Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate, and the other best headers of the ball guard, the 6-yard box, has worked well from set pieces in general this season. Again, credit to Newcastle, but I can explain, he told reporters in his post-match press conference. We play zonal, so we have 5 players zonally close to our goal, so if the ball falls there, it is always one of the 5 stronger players that are going to attack that ball. And we have 3 players that man-mark, and Macca is one of them. Normally, a player like Dan Burn or another one runs to the zone because normally. I think he's an exception to that because I have never seen in my life a player from that far away heading a ball with so much force into the far corner. That is part of logic, that they either have to go far away from our zone, which 99 out of 100 times will never lead to a goal, or they have to arrive in our zone, and then it's an equal battle, if you want to call it like this. So credit to him. I think he's one of the few players that can score a goal from that distance with his head. Speaking more generally about the match, Slot said, "The game was slow, not intense. The game went exactly the way they wanted, with a lot of duels and a lot through the air, and if we play 10 games of football through the air, they win 9 times. That is what led to the first goal and the second. We were outplayed in their style, that is true. They won more duels. It was a disappointing result, a disappointing performance, completely different to how I felt after the PSG game. I want to make it clear that the week started really well by beating Southampton, which extended our lead to 12 points. We are in one of the biggest clubs in the world, but it is not the first time they have lost 2 games in a row, especially if one is when you face the best team in Europe at the moment, and the other is a strong Premier League team." After Alexander Isak had lost Virgil van Dijk and half-volleyed Newcastle United towards a first domestic trophy in 70 years, Mohamed Salah put his hand on his hips and trudged silently back upfield. To a man, his teammates did the same. Even Van Dijk, even the skipper, was unable to raise a shout of defiance or conjure up a gesture of encouragement. It was an empty response in a largely empty performance. A performance devoid of all the things that have turned the Premier League title race into a Liverpool lap of honour. Dynamism, determination, imagination, intelligence, physicality, fight. Yes, if you had told Arne Slot how his first season as Liverpool manager would pan out, he would have signed for it. In a heartbeat, probably. But he would not have signed for a display as limp as this in a Wembley final. For a while now, celebrating a tackle or a block has been a thing. And we are talking full-blown fist-pumping celebrations. Joelinton, an outstanding performer, was at it midway through the first half after tracking back for a good few yards and dispossessing Jarell Quansah. Considering it was a relatively routine piece of work, his primal scream was a bit much, but Joelinton's roar was a loud symbol of the difference between these two sides. In the 52 minutes it took for Newcastle to take a 2-goal lead, the opener a thumping header from Dan Burn, late in the first half they were so much more intense, so much more committed, so much more aggressive. It was startling. Quite simply, the Premier League champions-elect were, up until the final throws of the match, a passive shambles of a side. Clearly, there was a physical issue in play, that extra time against a supremely fit Paris Saint-Germain, taking an obvious toll. Newcastle's midfield made Liverpool's midfield look ponderous. and there must surely have been psychological factors involved, the dramatic nature of their Champions League exit, creating an inevitable sense of deflation. Plus, with the Premier League title as good as sealed, perhaps one or two, subconsciously, feel their hard work is done. And to a certain extent, of course, it is. The pain of this loss was immediate, but there can be no diluting Liverpool's Premier League achievement. And when the season is over, they will be able to reflect on it with pride. But you have to wonder if there will be any ramifications from this one day. It did not help Salah's Ballon d'Or cause, that is for sure. These last few days have not helped Salah's Ballon d'Or cause. In fact, it is probably not even a thing anymore. It would be too easy and unfair to highlight Salah's lack of impact in this final because he was just one of a bad bunch. But it was a nudge to those pundits who say Liverpool should give Salah whatever he is asking for. It was a reminder that he turns 33 in 3 months' time. It was an explanation of why Anfield executives cannot just produce a blank check. An explanation of why the analytics people will be giving them warning figures. And although Federicociesa's late strike produced a tense finale, Salah himself might look at this team performance, as might the absent Trent Alexander-Arnold, and wonder if a new challenge is the way to go. Again, Salah was not alone in underperforming, and one game should not scar his stellar season. But no one is indispensable to a club like Liverpool, and this painful defeat proved that. Danny Guthrie has opened up on almost having a change of heart over joining Newcastle United, until Liverpool legend Steven Gerrard suddenly stepped in. The former Magpies star revealed how his stomach dropped while on his way to a medical at St James's Park before Gerrard told him he would be mad to turn down the move. Guthrie was en route to Newcastle in 2008 to finalise a move from Liverpool, the club he had been at since he was 16 years old, when he began having second thoughts. "I just felt my stomach drop," the now 37-year-old said to Inside Football. "I was like, no, I can't. I was at my dream club. I was at the best place in the world as far as I was concerned in terms of the team, and I was so proud to be a Liverpool player. It just hit me. I rang my agent and I said, look, I don't want to do this. I'm halfway up." And he said, "No, just have a look around the training ground and meet the manager." I said, "I really don't want to. I want to stay at Liverpool." He said, "Hold on. I'll call you back in a minute." The phone started ringing and it wasn't his number. It was Stevie G, and he said, "What's going on?" I went, "I'm driving up to Newcastle. They have accepted a bid." He said, "That's amazing." I was like, "I don't know." He said, "You're mad. That is a proper football club up there. Go up there, establish yourself as your own man, your own player. Go and be the man in someone else's team. Build that confidence. Establish yourself in the Premier League. You never know what the future holds, but don't be somebody who fizzles out at a big club." That was it. As soon as he put the phone down, I went, "Yeah, you're right," and I signed for Newcastle. Guthrie made just 7 appearances for Liverpool before he moved to St James's Park in 2008. He spent 4 seasons with the Magpies, making 104 appearances, as helped them secure promotion back to the Premier League in the 2009/2010 season. Following his time in the North East, Guthrie had stints at Reading, Fulham, Blackburn Rovers, Indonesian side Mitra Kukar, Walsall and Icelandic club Fram.